Hello and welcome back to round 10 of WTCL. We are back after 1 week break here in Imola, and it's if Ildefonso Andas on pole position. Nomura alongside him.
Underway. We'll see.
We
It
go.
looks like off the line it was a tentative start. I think Brunet's got a better launcher than Moore, but Cordova's also going down the inside. Torres is behind these with Licksteiner. Well, Mendes pulls away. Munat takes second. Cordova's now got ahead of Nomura, who's had a poor start. Although Nomura is going to come back to the outside. So he touch wheels there. Cordova gets a bit wide, and then he's obviously going to get a much better exit. That's allowed the two MVs to pull away. One of the Shogun Yokais went off the roads in the background, as Nikolaev goes down the inside now and moves up into fourth. And Nomura, who started this race P2, is down to fifth. And that's Licksteiner going onto the grass, as was one of the white Mauis. As now Nomura goes back down the inside and gets past Nikolaev. Nikolaev's going to try and come back. Now Torres and Nikolaev are fighting. You behind them. But, yeah. And then behind these is Ezio, and then Babinu and Dion. And Lexola, Boucher, Lingus, and Balajin. And then the two Shogun Kais, and then see the two Ironsides there, and then behind these two Santoses, the two Upside Downs, and then we get towards the back with Nakajima in last. But it's a two-way fight at the front between the two enemies because everyone else in behind kept trying to kill themselves. Cordova's in third, and it's Nomura in fourth after his horror start. Ryan has now dropped behind Nakajima, so somehow Nakajima is beating someone. In fact, he's now, well, for a second he was at a Goldschmidt. But yeah, you can see in the background there, that train behind the Mura is quite long. So you can see Nikolaev right behind him, as you had a look on Torres by the looks of it, but obviously those two used to drive for Stoffel back in Season 2. So those two will be having a bit of a nostalgic fight now. They're both absolutely terrible teams. Drake and Suburban into turn one. They make it through there safely. With a train emerging behind Torres, which goes back to Babinu in ninth. So we'll have to see how that train develops. Oh, and I
Oh,
think there was contact in the back between one of the Shogun Yokais and one of the
Kra.
Ironsides. Is it Crow? It is Crow. I don't know which Shogun Yokai it was, but it was one of them. So either Rodel or Betsky, we'll have a look at what happened. Oh, so who's that? Oh, so Betsky came off the track and whacked Danko Crown. Now, what happened to Betsky? Did she make contact with Rodel? Or. Oh, so Balajin was on us. Wait, so. Oh, so she went into the back of Balajin, who then came back on the track and whacked her off the track, which then caused her to lose the back end as she came onto the track and take out Danko Crown. So that was a bit of a
That's
clumsy
unfortunate.
incident. Funny enough, the funny part is the reason the whole crash started is because of Betsky, and then it happened again because of Betsky. So Betsky is entirely responsible for that. So she might receive a penalty. So Rodo is now Shogun Yokai's only hopes of points, unless Betsky can do a miracle. Goldschmidt is somehow a second behind the entire field. Somehow, he's just so good. Oh, that's Lingus trying to get ahead of Boucher. And does so. Balajin and Rodo are now going to try and get past. With also Leicester, who starts tomorrow's sprint race on pole. With it, funny enough, this man Austin Lingus alongside him in second. So you now head up the hill towards the end of the middle sector, which is as they roll down this hill. They now cut away because the two enemies are about to do battle. And they're going to be careful here because Cordova's only a second down the road. Of course, he's going to Vanga next season in exchange for Knight in a straight swap loan deal. So we'll see how that deal develops. But looks as if Mendes has just got away from Munat now.
Just a little bit. Cordova said the fastest lap. Nomura said the fastest lap.
Yeah, I mean, the Miller had a poor first lap, but maybe he can start pushing on now. And Nikolaev, and then that Torres train, which goes back to Licksteiner and 11th now. and then the English train which goes down to Lemon 17th. So we'll have a look at these as Prowl has pitted, so interesting to see if she'll be able to go to the end of the race. Probably not, but we'll have to wait and see. They now head towards the hairpin. Yeah, Mendes has got away from Munat. Have a look here. And Nicolai running P5. But yeah, Torres running P6. See that little train behind him. Trying to secure another good result for Drake. You, however, would currently get big points for Berkeley and put Upside Down even more in trouble than they already are. But, yeah. Well, it's not like Upside Down, particularly in the... Oh, and you goes into the back of him.
You bombs Torres.
Somehow there was no change in order or that, although I might have just jinxed it as Ezio goes down the inside and now gets past you. Honestly surprised that you didn't get any damage from that, or at least nothing that would require a pit stop. Just as I was talking about how Berkeley were going to get massive points, you decides to try and throw them away. He loses out to Ezio. Still had a Babini though. And also Dion and Lixo.
Oh.
Ezio got out of shape there. And again. So...
EU is now really close.
Oh, well, look.
Maybe he could try into turn 1.
Yeah, you can see how long this train is going. If you look at the background, look at that. See Lim all the way back there. Update on the battle at the front. Cordova has slightly dropped off the back of Munat, who hasn't really closed up to Mendes. So, looks as if Namur is actually beginning to start chasing down Cordova now. But we'll have to wait and see, because it's all fairly spaced out at the front. Kalev 5th, fighting with Torres. Now Ezio's got a bit of a train forming. Dion's kind of in no man's land. It's not really in either of the trains at this stage. Kind of further down at O'Connor, Knight, and DA. Somehow Nakaji was ahead of both Ryan and Goldschmidt. Obviously, Danko Crow is at the back of the field. No DNF so far, though, so that's always good. So you got over there running a P3. So, hopefully there's one of many chicanes around here. Oh, no, I made a bad mistake. Yeah, bad mistake. Without touching the weir, locked up. So that's going to lose them a lot of time to cut over. There's now U is being hunted down by Babinu. For 8th place.
So when you make a mistake?
Into the final corner. And then they set it up off the final corner on the run towards turn 1. Nikolaev's closed up down to the back of the Namur. Obviously after Namur's bad mistakes.
Nice.
Front 3 separated now by about 2 seconds as I'm gonna see how that develops, but here we see Nikolaev still behind Namur. Oh, was that no it wasn't. Yeah it was, Ezio went off.
Oh,
he's out. And Ezio's out.
That's the usual.
Just another Ezio DNF. I thought I saw Ezio go off in the background, but I wasn't sure. But I didn't see any order changing, so I didn't mention it. And then he started dropping. So Ezio's out, and Balachin is only 13th. So Stoffel continues to bottle the title race that they were absolutely dominating at one stage. We'll have to wait and see if they...
Oh, you lost out above you. And now Dion will try to overtake the Chinese driver.
You're going slightly wide now. But either way, looks as if Shiyu might be beginning to drop down the order a bit. To wait and see. Although at least for the time being, he has slightly shrugged off the attention of Dion and Lichtensteiner. We will see. Yeah, the front three are nicely spaced out. Mura has seen off the attention of Nikolaev, then Torres, who's slightly in a fight with her, and Babinu, who obviously got ahead of you, and then obviously the U train, with this fight for 8 between him, Dion, and Lichtensteiner, and then the train for 11th, which goes from Lingus down to Leicester, and then living on the end of it. And then there's a big gap back to Betsky and that train. For 17th, as Torres is now right onto the back of Nikolaev for 5th place. I know Torres is the only reason that Drake is staying out to sea.
That's all they need.
Came in after 3 rounds to a team with 0 confidence and 0 expectations of staying up. Nabbed a podium and he's taken points in the last 3 races. It's not even bad points, 23 points on 3 races. And he's currently hunting down Nikolaev for 5th, so Torres continuing to go strength to strength this season after nobody really wanted him. He went over to open wheel for a bit, came back with the Verte, and then obviously because it's the Verte, he went to Drake. Now he's probably kept Drake up unless upside down fighter driver.
Oh.
That was a mistake by Nikolaev.
That was an amazing save.
Torres had to slow down to avoid her there, so I don't think it's going to happen for him. Maybe he'll go down the inside here. He's angling like he was going to go for a move. Boy, he was about to send it, but he didn't. He is beginning to really make Nikolaev nervous now. Babini has also fallen back into the Dion and Yu little fight there. So, we'll see. So he's having to balance in. Is it a double DNF for Stoffel? I don't know. I see Balajin dropping. Oh! Double engine blowout for Stoffel. Well, he was in the points as well, but yeah. And then the engine goes.
And stops on the track.
Haxton nudging him slightly helped. Good news is there's only a couple of drivers behind him. So, and they're all miles away from the points anyway. But that's annoying for Power Balajin. So, double DNF for Stoffel. Not ideal. Particularly as the teams below them, White Maui and Platinum, at the moment they're in for a good haul of points. So, would be worrying.
I mean, Platinum is 5th and 10th.
Yeah, but then they're going to have to... But you've got to think as well about the sprint race, where Lichtensteiner starts from 6th. Could snap a podium. Plus 5th and 10th is still solid points. Stoffel are only about, what, 32 points ahead? I mean, 5th and 10th gets you 31.
Yeah.
So Platinum would close in with 1 point Stoffel at the moment.
Yeah.
And, well, Ryan Maui are going to jump Stoffel surely. I mean, they might not be doing great this race, but they get a 1-2 start for the sprint tomorrow. So if they can't capitalise from that. I know this, Cordova has nicely worked his way up to the back of SA Muna, although one thing this race has seen a lack of is overtaking. We've seen a lot of blowing up and a lot of drivers half spinning, but we haven't really seen a lot of overtaking. But maybe Cordova can change that, as Envy tried to hold on to their 1-2. Mendez ahead of Munat for once. Cordova has also got the fastest lap of the race, so he is beginning to string together pretty good race for himself. Started 5th, he's had a good start, now he's on the back of Munat. He's got the pace. They deploy the undercut here. He could be a big danger to Mendes. But we'll have to wait and see. Lap 8 of 15.
Oh,
Torres trying to...
big battle here.
Hello, Nikolaev is... Hello. The Nikolaev. He was fifth and cruising.
Onto
Oh,
the
has she made
chicane.
a mistake at the chicane? No, she just had a really bad exit. And got done by Torres and Babinu, and that's what's led to this whole fiasco. But she has got back ahead of Torres, and she's gone down the inside up into 6th. Babinu in all this now jumps everyone up to 5th. So, Babinu the opportunist moves up into the top 5 for Paraguay. This trader's a platinum sandwich. You've got Nikolaev at the front of it and Lixon at the back of it. Although that might change as CGU in 8th place. And then this train at the end of the points, which goes back to Leicester in 14th. Roder in 13th at the moment. Good news for her. As it stands, third feature race in a row at the moment, where Roder gets at least 1 point. Although her last 2 feature races, well, the last 2 races where she's got a point in the feature race, she's finished 14th and then 13th. So she's continuing to prove the trend. Just being just about with them, getting 2 points over the time to Munach coming down the straight. That is noticeable as they get into turn 1. Mo has not really had a race to remember. He started second and I well, lap 1. Now he's miles away from the podium.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds currently. Oh, and Nicola is looking to P5.
Nikolaev's got back ahead of Avenue. That was a mistake by you, who actually has dropped behind Dion. So, no, it's not. Who was that? Oh, that was Lickstone in the background, not you. Never mind. There's Tvergian and... oh, Rodal's into 12 now. So, not sure what happened there, but Rodal's now up to 12. Right. Avenue a bit out of sorts there. Torres going to hunt him down. And let's see what impact the pit stops will have on this race soon. You would think.
But there is now 1 second from Munach.
Yeah, he's just not there at the moment.
One push was not good enough.
Be across the line. And this has really been the issue the whole race. They've all been caught in trains. Which means they don't want to make the overtake. Because then they'll drop behind about 7 different cars. In the background, you can see that goes all the way back to Betsky. Use
And the
pit.
pit stops.
Yeah, pit stops are happening. Interestingly, Mendes is staying out, so I feel like Envy are probably happy with the way Mendes is just dominating this race right now. Lixana's got ahead of Dion. Up into 9th place. So that's good news for him. There we see Rodal, Vergia, Leicester, Lim, Betsky, Hackinson, and Singh, Firmino, O'Connor, Knight, DA, and then the absolute holy trinity of WTCL talent. Nakajima, Ryan, and Goldschmidt. Obviously, Dan Kukal's already pitted. to her earlier incident during the race when she came together with Betsky. So
this ninth place would get 12 points for Tiberghien, which would guarantee their WTCL status for next season. It's upside down being really disappointing. And probably as weak as projected last season.
oh yeah, that's the driver's not coming into the pits. We'll see
Oh,
what
Muna's
happens.
already out.
I mean, that's already coming out then.
As well as Cordova.
Now, the bad news from, well, Muna. Yeah, this is not good news for Cordova, but it's really good news for Muna. Actually, I take that back. I thought Muna was getting a lot cleaner, but he's not.
Yeah, Muna's stuck behind.
Yeah, he's
Actually.
going to be caught behind this entire train.
Yeah, but the MV pit crew does a good job because the gap is now, or was up to 2.5 seconds.
And now the issue is as well, if Cordova does start flying, he's then going to overtake Singh. There's Nomura.
Oh, Knight. Yeah, she pitted and Babinho is way behind. As well as Giu behind Danka Kra.
Although Kraus probably have to pit again, so I wonder if a bit of the bumping in
Yeah,
the
but
midfield, maybe where you and
Knight,
Avenue.
Knight was deep in the midfield.
Knight was down in like 22nd. So, not good news for you or Avenue. Goldschmidt retired. Don't know how or why, but he was last anyway. Not that it's going to make any impact to his point total for the season. As opposed to Rory now, it feels Drake is because it's happened to Torres. Yeah, bit of alarm. Bit alarming if it did happen, but hopefully not.
Right, it's just a clean stop for Knight. Like the MB stop. It was the pit crew's magic again.
Maybe Vanga learning a few tips or tricks on their best buddies down at Shogun Yakai. Oh, and Hackens just blown up. If if that doesn't sum up the state of Santos, I don't know what does. Right, so Mendes pits. Yeah, looks like they're all going to come in now. We'll have to wait and see.
Not got ahead of Beshkian. Comes Cordova. Oh! Bit dodgy. But I think Mendes is already out, yeah.
Mendes is already out, and if anything, he's just extended his lead over the field.
Yeah.
From Munat and Mendes.
4 seconds.
As if the Moa's going to come through and stuff. So the top 4 remains unchanged. Lexano comes out 5th. I think he was 5th anyway. Oh, wait, no, it was Nicolaiah who was 5th. What?
And Dion.
Dion ahead of Rodel.
Oh,
So Rodel once again Shogun Yakai magic in the pit stops. Leicester in 8th. Somehow. Dion, nice pit stop there.
O'Connor.
What?
And maybe this is the upside down miracle that they
Knight
need.
into the top 10. Nikolaev, Torres dropped down. Bavenu then Crow. Naka, what? Oh,
that is Gio in 16.
You and Davis going side by side in the players. Nakajima is 1 place away from scoring a WTCL point. Right, who's running in the top 10 that could blow up? Right, well, there's good money on Cordova or Dion blowing up. And there's very good money on one of the Esters blowing up. So, Nakajima could realistically get a point today. He could legitimately get more points in 3 races than Goldschmidt's had all season. I mean, if this just doesn't confirm that Nakajima is actually a god, that does.
Currently, we went from Tiberghien scoring 12 points to upside and scoring 10 points.
Right, now hold on. Yeah,
Should
well, this
put
is due for the
33.
relegation battle. You is not even in the points now, so Connor gets 10 points.
10 points, so he's 33.
Upside down close within 13 of Taberkian. Right, now that's implying as well that O'Connor stays in ninth and that someone ahead doesn't blow up or someone behind. Or, O'Connor doesn't blow up. Nakajima, yeah, I don't think it's happening.
Maybe
His
you
only
can
hope
charge
and
as
prayer
well.
is that Lindqvist will pressure you so much that you will just refuse to overtake him. This is giving me Nurburg vibes after the pit stop. As in the
Yeah,
Nurburg,
something
not the
like that.
team. Yeah. Well, O'Connor is somehow in the top 10. Bodo is somehow 7th. Dion's into the top 6 somehow. But look at the gap from, like, Mendes to Licksteiner. I mean, it's mental.
Oh, and Kraven need to pit.
Yep.
But she is already in the points, so
And
Nakajima
so
dropped 2
Lindqvist.
places.
Yep. So, yeah, Crow will have to pit again, unfortunately. So, Nakajima could have had that point as well. Oh, well.
Tiberghien will get 1 point back.
In our hearts, Nakajima finishes 14th in this race. Right. So, that's all that matters. Maybe Lindqvist will flip GU into a wall and then Nakajima comes through to get ahead of both of them. I don't know. Possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible.
And so far O'Connor been on par, on pace with Knights in the pit stop. The gap is around 1 second. As
Well,
I
Knight's
said it,
under pressure on the layout, so... Should have let a shame down as well, Knight.
oh, and there is Roder out of the race.
Oh, Wodo's out.
So that we
Oh,
promote
that's a shame.
Lindqvist into the point.
Well, I don't think Shogun Yakai is scoring points this race then. Because Betsky's down in 20th. So... Shogun Yakai, who have taken points in 5 of the last 7 races, they're not getting one today.
And it's 15 points. Which
Yeah,
they
that would have
won't
been
score.
Shogun's best result. That would have been Shogun's best non-podium finish of the season. So that's a damning blow for Bodal. What that means is that pushes you now into effective 13.
So that's 2 points for GU.
Nakajima now misses out on the points by 1 place again. So all we need now is one more DNF. Oh, so that pushes O'Connor into 8th now.
Yeah, Tiberghien gained 1 point with this, but Upside Down gained 2 points.
Right, so how does this shape up? So Upside Down now going to 33, and Tiberghien will be on 46. So 13 points is the gap. But again, we have seen cars blowing up. So keep an eye out and see what happens. Crown now pit. So that pushes Lindqvist up into the points.
Yeah, nothing happens ahead. Top 7 is
Yeah,
still
they're
out.
just very, very spaced out. The real fight there is you can see it between Knight and this group. Knight, Nikolai, Torres, and Baronu. I mean, Rodal must be frustrating. That's textbook Shogun Yakai. You're gonna drive wins the points and they normally finish, but unfortunately,
Torres.
on Torres. Like, but yeah, 2 drivers who are jumps up into the points and then the car just blows up on her. That was a frustrating result as well, because that would have been Rodal's best result of the season by a mile. But not to be. Meanwhile, in all of this, while they've only just entered the final sector, Mendes has already crossed the line to start the final lap. So, if you just want some idea of how far away Mendes is, we need 1 more DNF in the points to make the Nakajima Dream a thing. That's all we need. We just need 1. Where is that 4 DNF when you need it?
Nakajima is
They're
running
saying
off
that he might drop behind in DA. Actually, Conor Ryan. Upside down. Oh my god, yes, and DA's bought it. That's good news for Nakajima. Right, final lap. We need a we need something to happen to somehow give Nakajima a point. It would just be hilarious. Let's see. Oh. Might go a little bit on the easy with the wheel there. She's being hunted down by Nicolea on the final lap of the way, so. Nakajima holding off with DA. There's 9. Meanwhile,
Well, no
Mendes
changes here.
the final corner. So, yeah. Mendes is going to cross the line and win. Pretty easy victory for him. 1-2 for Envy. Munak crosses the line second and takes the fastest lap with Cordova running out the podium. Nomura in 4th. So, Envy are now a threat to Esther. Again. Lixer takes the checker flying at 5th. Dion's going to cross the line to finish 6th, of course, with her basically being confirmed as Nervo's main driver for next season. With Leicester crossing the line 7th ahead of his sprint race pole tomorrow. As we now wait. As Edgar O'Connor is going to come around the final corner and secure a big result for Upside Down in 8th, with Knight holding off a whole host of cars for 9th as she finishes over Torres, Nicolea, Babinu. Yu's going to cross line 13th with Lindqvist rounding out the points. Nakajima 1 place away from the points, he finishes 15th ahead of a DA, and then Ryan, Limbetsky, Boucher. And then we see Singh and Firmino and Danko Krau, who's actually not too far behind them in the end, crossing the line to be the last finisher in 23rd, with Rodel, Hackerson, Goldschmidt, Balachin, and Ezio, the 5 DNFers, here at Imola for the feature race, with, of course, the sprint race still on. Esther, well, Envy dominated. They
For the
were
first time.
points, but they were 55 points behind Esther coming into this weekend. Esther finished 4th with Nomura, so they picked up 24. Esther just got a 1-2 and the fastest lap, so they just picked up 70. Which means they gained a net advantage of 46.
Now Boucher got the fastest lap.
Oh, Boucher's not the fastest lap at the end. Oh, okay, so it's a net plus of what? So 26 to 68. So 42 points. They close in. So the gap's now 30. I think. So all to play for tomorrow. Esther might genuinely choke a 55-point lead in one weekend, which even for Esther standards would be quite impressive.
Yeah, well, this 1 week break allowed them to bring a lot of upgrades. And yeah, it showed, as they were the fastest all weekend so far. Maybe this break is the reason behind the resurrection of the MV title push.
We always knew Envy was good. Mendes just kept having a few issues, and then the pace has been exquisite this weekend. And well, now Esther are going to have to seriously think about this because we will see. In all of this, I think Stoffel are probably now the title race. But I really do think now it is really just a two-way fight between Esther and Envy. Stoffel the double DNF. Why Maui seems to just be sprint race merchants these days, and Platinum don't seem to have that raw winning pace. Like Platinum were a good top 5 team, we see that in the standings, but they haven't won a race all season. So I think at this stage it is now a two-way fight out between Esther and Envy. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Envy picking up just their 2nd win of the season, surprisingly. Feels a bit weird that they've only won 2 races all season, but yeah. Not been the easiest of seasons for Envy, and yet they still might end up just dominating the championship if they continue this forward sort of pace. Because after this, there's the Rumble with Bathurst, which will be very interesting because we get to see Winfield versus Perez versus Bison. We also get to, and then after that, we come back and we got 3 absolute we've got 4 races in a row with Brands Hatch, which should be good. A track which I've never heard of, which I think is pronounced Most, not Most. I don't know. There's a way you can pronounce it, but I'm not Czech. Or so, and then obviously San Francisco, and then obviously Bahrain. So we'll see. But I mean, to be fair, there are still 5 rounds left after this weekend, so we'll see. But I do think it is a 2-way shootout now.
But the Rumble could be the the last chance for Stoffel because Perez could be one of the best drivers in the main grid. And
the concern, yeah, I mean, Perez maybe could salvage it for Stoffel, but then you'd be relying on Winfield and Vyson to absolutely drop the ball. Given that Winfield outscored Perez in the first round when we ran over at what was it, Chicago. I mean, Esther might be able to draw away from Envy. Vyson only picked up 31 points in the Rumble. However, to be fair, at the time, Envy weren't really at their best. What this also means now is Envy have taken a podium in the last 4 races now, and 3 of them have had at least a top 2 finish. So Envy are now looking at that. Envy are now getting the momentum on Esther. That's the crucial part here. But we have seen this title race go back and forth the entire year, to be fair. I mean, at the start of the year, it was all Wayne Maui. Then it kind of transitioned into Stoffel. Then we've obviously had these last 2 rounds where it's kind of been neck and neck with Esther now urging ahead. And now Envy are coming back into it. So, the title fight keeps changing as to who's going to dominate. And, well, who knows? Maybe come Bahrain Platinum have dominated. You never really know with this series.
yeah, well, tomorrow should be an interesting day with the US Grid race. We'll make sure to tune in tomorrow in the same time. We have a break in ITCL. I think we have JTCL. So yeah, that should be interesting too. So in less than 24 hours we will have a race again. So until then, goodbye.